Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how casual sex may be keeping you from having a serious relationship. Now, if you're a person that is having casual sex and you're fine with it and you don't want to be in a serious relationship, well, this video is not for you. But if you are looking for a serious relationship and you find that you're ending up having sex instead of getting to know someone, or you end up jumping into bed and the person ghosts you, you never hear from them, and you're wondering what's going on? Why is it that I can't get a second date? Or why am I having problems being in a long-term relationship and meeting that special someone? And how is having casual sex or hookups negatively affecting that? So let's go over the idea of casual sex. Now, this is where you meet somebody and you end up having sex with them on a casual basis, but you're not in a committed relationship. Sometimes it can be a one-night stand. Sometimes it can happen once or twice. Many times it usually ends up being a one-night stand, and I've heard so many people say that they end up feeling lonely when they're doing this. So it might be exciting at first, but it ends up that they feel lonely or they feel rejected and they are looking to be in a relationship and they just don't know why they're not able to find somebody. Now, part of the problem is when you go out on a date and you end up jumping in bed, that usually does not mean that the two of you are connected or even know each other, because you really haven't taken the time to get to know one another. And oftentimes when you just jump in bed, it usually doesn't work out. It usually doesn't turn into a long-term relationship. And I said usually because once in a while it does happen, but for the most part, the one-night stand or the casual sex or the hookup does not end up in a long-term relationship. And if that's what you're looking for, then you're going about it the wrong way. So this idea of dating sites, it's really taken people into this other realm of probably like a numbers game. So you're meeting people, you're not really getting to know them. You can meet several people in a week, and many times, it might not be someone that you normally would want to see again, but for some reason you find yourself having sex with them. And so if this happens repeatedly, then it can also make you have this negative idea of sex, closeness, that connection with someone. It can turn into a problem there. Not to mention that there's STDs, that sometimes people have other emotional triggers that can happen after a sexual encounter. And so it really is best to get to know somebody before you decide to share your body with them. And if you're one of those people who really values the emotional connection, you're not going to get that from a sexual connection with someone that you don't truly know. So one of the best things to do if you do want to find somebody and have a good relationship, and then it turns into also an intimate sexual relationship, because if you're having a close relationship with someone, the sex is going to be so much better because you get to know each other, you get to know what each other likes, you're intimate with that person, you'll see them the next day, you'll be cuddling with them. I mean, there's so much more to it. And if you're just having the continued one-night stand, you're never really going to experience that wonderful part, that closeness. So you have to make a boundary for yourself. And when I talk to people about this, it's really important that you make a decision. You decide you're not going to have sex on the first date, second date, third date. You're going to get to know the person for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to decide that you either want to have a closer, intimate relationship with them or you don't. And so you're taking the time to know them without having sex be a part of it, because once the sex happens, it adds something different to the relationship. So in many instances, it can make it more uncomfortable where you stop the process of getting to know them on an emotional, intimate, personal level because you've jumped into the sexual part of it, and that brings up a whole host of problems on its own. And some of the best relationships really are between people that have been friends, that have gotten to know each other and they really like each other. And then they end up being intimate with one another. But then again, you have to have certain boundaries. So if you're going to go out on a date with someone, you know you're not going to end up in bed with them. You know that you're going to, if you like them, have a second date and then go from there. And also, when you do decide to be serious about meeting someone, you have to know what you're looking for. That's really important. What qualities do you want in a person? What characteristics do you like? Be real specific with yourself. Obviously, no one's going to fit into a perfect little box or exactly what you want, but it's real important that you pick out some things that have meaning to you, some things that you wouldn't want to spend time with a person if they didn't have. And write that list out and get real familiar with what you're looking for, because then you'll know if you want to have another date, so on and so forth. The other idea is dating sites. Those are not necessarily the only place that you can meet someone. There's plenty of ways to meet people. And sometimes it's nice to meet them in person before you go out on a date with them. You can meet someone in an elevator, on the subway, on a train. You can meet them walking. You can meet them in your, at work, in the office building, or some of the best places to meet someone is through a friend or someone that you know that introduces you. That's a great way to meet somebody. And the other idea is, again, that you're going to take your time and you are going to put that effort forward. And when you put that effort forward and you show that you're interested in getting to know the other person, you're going to find that you're going to meet people that think the same way you do. So you'll start attracting people that want to get to know you and want to be in a relationship rather than they're not sure or they're just jumping in bed. So you're going to attract a different type of person for yourself as well. So this is some of the things that you can do, and you can start this immediately and make your list, put your boundaries up, and take responsibility and stick with those boundaries. And you may find that you meet that special someone much quicker than you think, and it also won't be as lonely when you're just hooking up and then that person ends up ghosting you and then you feel a sense of rejection and you're upset about it. So you're also avoiding all that drama as well. As well as, meeting up with many people, because the quantity is not as good as the quality. So keep that in mind too. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comment. I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you.